Hey everyone, I did not really want to get on here right now. Couple reasons. I am actually fighting a really bad cold. And secondly, I literally have not done my makeup or my hair today. So hence the I'm a wreck. Not really the way that I necessarily want to go live, but when the Lord asks me to do something, then I sure have got to be obedient. So that's why I'm on here, and I wanted to share with you guys just for those who are struggling, for those who have felt defeated or discouraged, who have not had a good day or a good week or a good month. That's been my kind of day. That's been my kind of week. And honestly, it's been a really stretching season. So I know a lot of times I get on here and there's like amazing miracles left and right, and that's the only side that you guys see. And so just to encourage you, we have just been through cycles of sickness for months in our house. My whole family just got well last week. My kids missed 4 days of school. Sick for over 6 days, and now I have what they have. So it's a bummer because it feels horrible. But all that to say, I feel like I have so much work to do, and I'm not able to do it because I can't even think straight because I've got this horrible head cold and just feeling really crappy. And so to let you guys in just on the reality of what today has been like for me, truly, just sitting on the couch, frustrated, discouraged, kind of feeling like there's so much I need to get done and I haven't been able to. And so a lot of tears, and just kind of asking the Lord, like, how are we going to get done all the things that we need to do in order to launch a business and a ministry in the next several months. And it feels like we're behind, but then my faith says we're not, because I know we're right where we need to be with the Lord. So just this constant roller coaster. God is working miracles. And then, the next day we find out, but we didn't think about this, or, we didn't think about that. So truly, my husband and I have been on just a roller coaster and trying to anchor ourselves in faith. And we get so frustrated with ourselves because a lot of times, reading through the Old Testament and reading the story about how God delivered the Israelites out of Egypt and how he split the Red Sea and brought water out of a rock and manna for their food, all these miracles. And then we always question, once it gets up to the promised land and they send the spies in and all the, people except for Joshua and Caleb, the two, come back with complaints saying like, we can't do it. It's too big. There's giants in the land. And we always wonder, how in the world could the Israelites question God? How in the world could they question his faithfulness? How in the world could they question that he would help them defeat their enemies, right? And so I feel like when we read those stories, we're always like down on the Israelites. How could they, right? And yet that has been the place that my husband and I have found ourselves in over the last several weeks, is just fear getting in, discouragement setting in, not questioning that God will provide because we have seen him show up time and time again, but okay, will our strategy work? Will we have enough money when we need it? When, will the business plan, and the loan be finalized? All the things that, will people even show up? Like all these fears that come in, and yet we find ourselves like being hard on the Israelites, and that's exactly what we've been doing. And so we feel so frustrated with ourselves because we're in a way not trusting God and not trusting his faithfulness to walk this out. He's the one who originated this whole vision with our ministry. And so won't he see us through? And so on a day like today, just feeling so defeated, so discouraged, sick and wanting to be productive and unable to, I'm just finding myself diving in the word, trying to talk to the Lord and just stay in a place of faith. And I had gotten to a place where I'm like, okay, it's okay, you know, just wipe my face off, like, you know, stop crying, it's going to be all right. God will, you know, give me the time that I need to finish what I need to do when I feel better. And all that to say, I just am amazed at God, because it has been a very rough day. And just to encourage you guys, whenever you think things can't go any worse, you know, God is so faithful to show up and to just bring encouragement to your heart. And so for those of you who don't know, my son, God is just incredible. He has used him from time here and there to just give him words and visions. And about a year ago, there's been a testimony prior regarding a vision that my son had in June of last year. And it regarded a basically flatbed trailer showing up to our land with skid steers and work equipment. And my son had this vision. And so we'd always taken this stance that, you know what? God is showing us that he will provide the equipment that we need to get the work done that's needed for these tracks and trails and this off-road equipment for, you know, riding. And so we've just taken that stance. Well, God, if you haven't heard the testimony prior, back in October of last year, September of last year, God worked miracles to bring us a skid steer through a company called Express Roofing. They've just been so generous to let us long-term borrow that. The testimony is incredible, so you should go back and find that. I'll try to post it in the comments. But all that to say, here we are getting closer to breaking ground, getting closer to needing to soft open, and we need another skid steer. And so I told my husband, before we rent one, you know, God showed this vision. God showed this vision of this skid steer. So we just need to believe that the people he's put in our path, like, we can just ask and we'll see. And if nothing comes through, then let's rent one and spend the money. But if you know, we can't do that until we at least ask the people that God's put in our lives. So first phone call my husband makes last week, he puts a call into this amazing company who God connected us with and just asks. And the guy was he was able to get a hold of him. And the guy said, yes, you can use our skid steer. And so our hearts were encouraged. Same day, I reached out to another contact of ours, same thing. Yes, you can use our skid steer. And so we were blown away, like, okay, God just brought us 2 more skid steers when we need them. And so he just took care of that. Well, today I've had the worst day ever. Apparently, so has my husband, because he reached out to one of those guys and they're like, yeah, come pick up the skid steer. It's an hour away. Come get this skid steer and it's yours for, you know, I don't know, the week or whatever. So apparently my husband had tried to coordinate using a truck, and his truck won't pull this skid steer. And so 8:30 in the morning, he's, you know, trying to get a truck, trying to go get the skid steer, doesn't have the resource or equipment to do it. So he's in his office at the land and he's feeling sorry for himself and just discouraged. You know, same kind of day I've had. Not able to get what we need, not able to do what we feel like we need to do. And I hadn't even talked to him today, so I didn't even realize that was the kind of day that he was having as well. But he's just kind of having a pity party and finally decides he's going to get out of his office. He's going to go shovel some rocks on the land. Like, just do something with his hands, right? Be productive somehow. Because here God's provided a skid steer, but now we don't have the truck to pull it. So again, just this constant roller coaster that sometimes feels like, can we not just catch a break, you know? And then God gives us the break and then we're like the Israelites again, complaining, right? So all that to say, he gets outside, he's shoveling rocks, and within 5 minutes, a truck pulls up. Some guy hops out of the truck with tears in his eyes. And guys, this is a true story, okay? This is our life. Like, God is so amazing. I can't even keep up with all he's doing. And this man pulls up in this big old truck and has tears in his eyes. And he basically says, I own land down the street. Like, basically we're neighbors. I love what you're doing. And I just want you to know I want to help out however I can. And I don't have much, but I want to be a resource to you. And whatever you need, I want to bring resource to you. And my husband's like, man, like, I just appreciate it. And he shares a little bit more about the vision. Again, my husband's never met this man, okay? And literally, he essentially shares the need of like, I just need a truck right now to go get this skid steer. The man offers to go pick up the skid steer with his truck. And my husband's like, it's an hour away and an hour back. Like, that's 2 hours of your time. I don't want to waste your time, sir. Like, this is too generous. And they basically devise a plan where they're going to trade trucks for the day. And no joke, my husband is right now driving a stranger's truck who just happened to show up on the land at the exact moment that was needed and hand over his keys. And my husband gave him our truck for the day. And we're in awe. We're in awe of the Lord to show up exactly when we needed encouragement. God did not have to do that, because to be honest, I feel like we're like the kids who don't trust their parents and honestly just need to be like reprimanded from God, because he's shown up so many times. Like, how is it that we're still not trusting? How is it that we're still doubting his provision or doubting that we have what we need? And so we truly just feel like we need to like have a good slap on the hand. But honestly, like, God is so gracious and so good in our discouraging day and our self-pity to pull us up and to encourage us in such a huge way that not only are we getting this skid steer that we don't own, nor did we pay to rent, but we're borrowing a stranger's truck who God provided at the exact right time. God is so good. So I just want to encourage you, if you're having a rough day today, if you're struggling, God is faithful. Cry out to him, read his word, set your heart on his promises, and wait for him to show up. So just wanted to encourage you guys with that testimony today. Who knows what else the Lord is going to be doing over the next few days and weeks, because truly it is a wild ride, and this is just the beginning. So anyway, just wanted to let you guys in on real life today. And we just thank you guys for your prayers, and thank you for your faith. And we just love all of you and can't wait to see what God's going to continue to do. All right. See ya.